Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalam ala ashrafil anbiya wal mursaleen. Sayyidina wa Maulana Abil Qasim Muhammad wa ala alihi at-tayyibin al-tahirin al-ma'sumin. Siyyuma baqiyatullah al-azam. Ruhi wa arwahul alamina lahul fidah. Rabbi shrah li sadri ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. The discussion this Muharram has been regarding beauty of faith or the attraction of faith and the importance of it is the fact that if a person is not attracted to his faith, if he doesn't find the beauty in his faith that exists in his faith, then that faith that he has, that iman that he have, will soon be spoiled and eventually be destroyed. Because shaitan is there to anyone who has a little bit of iman, shaitan is there waiting to destroy your iman. And for you to think that you can outsmart him would be not too smart. So this is really important for us to understand that beauty that is in deen, whereby we can enjoy our iman, enjoy our deen, enjoy our practice. Allah speaks about it in the Quran in Surah Hujurat, where he says, وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ حَبَّبَ إِلَيْكُمُ الْإِيمَانِ وَزَيَّنَهُ فِي قُلُوبِكُمْ. Allah has made iman beloved for you, endearing for you, attractive for you. وَزَيَّنَهُ فِي قُلُوبِكُمْ. And He has made it beautiful in your heart. Meaning that your heart, a heart of a mu'min, a believer, will find faith attractive. It will find deen attractive. So in other words, if a person doesn't enjoy his deen, then maybe he doesn't have faith. It's because a person doesn't have iman. And he's just practicing it because he has a habit or he's told to do it. He actually doesn't believe in it. And that's what we have to see. Because someone who has iman will enjoy everything in Islam. Everything from the practices of Islam, from the rituals of Islam, from the ceremonies of Islam, to the manasik of Islam. All of these things that Allah has given, these will be enjoyable to him. It will be enjoyable to him. And that's where we want to find out. Now the discussion is, what are the ways by which we can recognize this attraction? How can we recognize this beauty? Some things, now obviously this is God-given. It's Allah who gives it. Right? This is Khuda Dadi. Meaning Allah is the one who gives it. You can't earn it. You can't go out and say, I'm going to work to see how beautiful Islam is. You can't teach it also. For example, you can't tell a student, Islam is beautiful. Now write it down 100 times on the whiteboard. Now, if you ask the child, Islam beautiful? Yes. How do you know? I wrote it down on the whiteboard. Does it work like that? This is something that Allah gives you. You have to get it from Him. But what we can do is take the preliminary steps by which we can recognize this beauty. By which our eyes can open up to this. We can do certain things in order to help ourselves to do this. The first thing I mentioned yesterday, the first thing to do is take your eyes from the fake and fraudulent attraction of this dunya. If your eyes are on this dunya, if you're captivated by it, you won't see the beauty of Imam Ali. You won't see the beauty of Imam Hussein. It won't be there. And the more that you shut your eyes from dunya, the more you'll recognize and taste and be attracted to this beauty that exists here. So it's relative also. How much can you cut yourself off from dunya? How much can you take yourself out of this and not be captivated by it? The more you'll fall in love with that which Allah is giving you. That's what we learned yesterday. Now let me go to some more ways of recognizing this beauty. Second way to recognize this beauty and be attracted to Islam, the second way is to be a lover. To be a lover. Muhib. Ahle muhabbat. Now what do you mean by ahle muhabbat? What is that? That is a certain personality type. You want to be that as close as you can to that personality type of a lover. Meaning, be more affectionate for the surroundings around you, people around you. Be more receptive to people around you, to everyone that you meet. Be amicable, that people can get along with you. It's easy for others to get along with you. If you see that you're hard to get along with and that everyone's afraid of you, then there's something wrong with that characteristic. That sort of characteristic won't be able to see the beauty of deen and practice and faith. Be welcoming. You're just like that. If you are, for example, an individual, are you welcoming people in the house? If you are, for example, a center, are you welcoming someone new? I've been to centers where you feel unwelcome. They have been centers really, they really make sure that, you're not welcome here. A person who's new. And it's been amazing. I'm like, why did you even make this center? Just make it a social club, it's a private social club, members only. And so it happened like that. Like for example, this convert came to a center in Ramadan, right? The Shia comes to a Shia center, and the guys there, they intentionally feed him spicy food. And when he starts to burn, they all get together and laugh and hope he doesn't come back again. Obviously with a welcoming nature like that, who's going to come there? And so it happens like that. So really we need to see ourselves, right? If we see someone new, are we excited to see someone? Are we that type of people? That, wow, subhanallah, a new person, go and see him, meet him, welcome him, make him feel welcome. Make him feel as if he's a part of the family, part of the community. This is the personality type which will be able to see the goodness and the sweetness that is in faith. That's how we need to make ourselves. There's a hadith from Imam Ali alayhi salam. He said, Amilul mu'mineen bil ithar. He says, interact with mu'mineen with ithar. Now, ithar means altruism. If you don't know what altruism means, like self-sacrifice, like you don't look at your own self. You just do things for others without wanting anything in return. Meaning whenever you do something, like for others, for the community, for the masjid, without asking anything in return. You don't want recognition, you don't want money, you don't want anyone to praise you, you just do it. Not everyone can be like this. Some people are like this, who have ithar. And when you have ithar, and people who have ithar, you see, the community thrives. It will go, there is no bound for it. When you have even a few people who do ithar in the community. For example, I'll give you 2 examples, right? That had one community I met, they were having their AGM, their annual general body meeting. Right? Now in that meeting, right? They were like talking about ways that they can, pray better, ways that they can improve their du'as, talking about hadith and ayat. Like, subhanallah, all of them, man, woman, everyone is like, let's work on this in our community. And everyone's like so excited about it. Subhanallah. This is an AGM meeting in this community. Wow, subhanallah. Now I go to the next AGM meeting, and in the meeting that they had, 2 discussions are like heated discussions going on. One, who's going to clean the bathrooms? Who's going to clean the bathrooms? And should we have spicy food or non-spicy food? And everyone is arguing against each other, shouting at each other, spicy, non-spicy. How much spicy? All of these things. And wow, you look at this one side, they're just arguing with each other on these things. On the other side, they're talking about positive things that are, that they can improve and they can do work for Allah and they can do all these things. So what's happening in America in 2 different masjids, you have 2 different things going on. It's not that, and they're the same background of people. There's the same Shias from here, then you have the same Shias from there. Everyone is the same. What is it that makes it so different? That people are just like dragging themselves in mud, and the other people are like trying to fly in the sky. What's the difference? When I actually did research on this, got to know both the communities, I found out that the community that you see everyone is engaged in useful talk, I asked them, who does your bathroom? Oh, you know what? This brother always does the bathroom. That's it. He's not board member. He's nothing this and that. He just comes here and he just cleans the bathrooms. Okay. And this and that and all of these things. I'm like, wow. There are few brothers, 2, 3 people who do the work of the whole community. And because these people, and they're not in the board to do it because it's their obligation. It's not because they're getting some money for it or anything like that. They just do it. And because of them doing things without wanting anything in return, the rest of the community is now looking towards the sky and trying to fly. You see, this positive attitude comes from people who do ithar. The other community you want to, no one wants to do it unless they're paid for it. They're saying, it's not my responsibility. I'm not the board member. I'm not this, I'm not that. Everyone is just arguing about that. My friends, this is ithar. When ithar happens anywhere in the community, you will see that community is always positive. Because the dirty work is being done by certain people. That's it. They're just doing it. No one has to worry about it. Now they can worry about greater things in community. This is what it is. I'm just going to do a system check over here, right? Because, it has happened to me before, right? 30 seconds, all right? So, there was this one time I went to this masjid and I was speaking over there, and it was 5 days into the speeches, right? Someone bought the masjid a lawnmower. A brand new lawnmower, and they were looking for volunteers to mow the lawn. They were looking for volunteers to mow the lawn. So they kept on announcing in the masjid, right? Now it was like a mixed masjid, but a lot of them were like Iraqis, and all of that. And 5 days I was there, everyone was a great audience. They're like listening intently, all of them, right? So after 5 days, they announced, hey, we have a new lawnmower, And we are looking for volunteers to do this. No one volunteered. No one volunteered. I'm like, okay, what is this, So they announced 2-3 times and no one is volunteered, like one person probably, He said, I can do it, once a month or something like that. So there was an Iranian brother there. Now he was smart. He said, brother, announce it in Arabic. Announce it in Arabic. And right away they announced in Arabic, that we're looking for volunteers to do the lawn and this and that. And majority of the masjid raised their hands. And I looked at them raising their hands. Brother, I've been speaking to you for 5 days. What is it? You don't understand what I'm saying? And they're just nodding their head. So I just want to make sure, are you understanding what I'm saying? If you do, then send a salawat. It happens. What can I do? Sometimes you're there, everyone is just being nice, What's he saying? And you think that they're understanding, and then at the end you find out, man, it went over you. You didn't understand anything. So alhamdulillah, we're understanding that. Let's send another salawat. So Imam Ali says that deal with mu'mineen with isar. Yes, give them without asking anything back from them. That isar. And deal with everyone else with insaf. Other than mu'mineen, anyone else, deal with them with insaf. So insaf, you know what insaf? Justice, equity, fair dealing. Equity and fair dealing is not for mu'mineen. That is for non-Muslims, non-mu'min. You deal with them with justice and fairness. But with mu'mineen, you don't deal with them with fairness. You give them with isar, sacrifice for them. Sacrifice for mu'mineen with each other. When a person has this attitude, he will start seeing the beauty in Islam. That's what blocks us when we don't have that. So, in other words, don't be cold-hearted or unfriendly, insensitive to others. Such a person will never see the beauty that's in Islam. He will never enjoy his ibadat. A person who has these amicable, friendly attitude is the one who does that. Rasulullah gave a lot of importance to this. Anyone who would come to Rasulullah and ask for shafa'at for someone, like someone who knew Rasulullah, right away he will accept it. Right away accept it. It happened that there was a war and now some spies were caught. They're going to be executed. And Jews. So what happened is that their friends, their business friends and all that, their neighbors, they came to them, hey, listen, he's our neighbor. He's our friend. Please let him go. They told Rasulullah. And Rasulullah said, fine. I release him. No problem. Anyone. So you see this friendliness that happens? This was that friendliness. That attitude really, it will open your eyes. La ilaha illallah. There's a dua that we should read after food. Whenever you eat food, if you don't know, I don't know if you know the adab of eating food and this and that. When you eat food, after you eat the food, you wash your hands. Before you wipe them with a towel or anything, before you wipe them, then you put your hands on your face like this after washing them. You wipe your hands on your face, eyes and face like this, and make this dua. Allahumma inni as'aluka zinatan wa muhabbat. Allah, give me beauty and love. Give me attraction, beauty, and give me love for others. Give me love for others. Wa a'udhu bikal maqto wal bighda. And I seek refuge in you from hatred and dislike for others. Kine. Please Allah, save me from that I dislike others. Don't make me dislike others. Like that. You see, this is a dua that we should read every time we eat food. And look at this. Allah is saying, make this dua after you eat. That after you're full and relaxed and alhamdulillah you're saying, at that time say when you're at peace, then read this dua. When you wash your hands. SubhanAllah. You can write it down. I will, send this to you and you can send this to the group. So at least get a habit of doing this after food, when you eat your meal. A very small dua. Allahumma inni as'aluka al-muhabbat al-zinata wal-muhabba wa a'udhu bika min al-makti wal-bighda. That's it. And learn this. In that time, Allah is saying, ask for these things. Ask for being loving with each other and at the same time being not having dislike for one another. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Now, there's a lot of hadiths to be read, right? I don't want to go really deep in. I want to go into another point also after this. But let me read one more hadith. This is from Imam Hassan alayhi salam. He says that it is said that whenever he used to stand up for prayer, even when he's alone in his house, when no one is seeing him, he would wear the best clothes that he has. He used to wear the best clothes that he has. He used to put on the best perfume that he has. And then he used to go and pray alone. Not in front of people, not in a masjid where everyone should smell you that you're nice and this and that. Even alone, he is like that, making himself presentable. They asked him, Mawla, why do you do that for? Why do you do that for? So he said that, Inna Allaha jamilun wa yuhibbul jamal. Allah is beautiful and He loves beauty. Allah Himself is beautiful. That's one of His names. Al-Jamil is Allah's name. He says, and He loves beauty, that you beautify yourself. He says, Atajammalu li Rabbi. I am beautifying myself for my Rabb, for Allah. It's heavy, really heavy. Look at it, just alone, just like that. And then he says, read the ayat of the Quran. You know what the ayat says? He says, Ya Bani Adam, Khudu zinatakum inda kulli masjid. O children of Adam, beautify yourself every time you go to pray. Every time you pray, beautify yourself. I mean, really, when you go to pray, how do you pray? What are the clothes that you pray in? Sometimes the answer is true. Maulana, we wear those clothes that we will never wear in front of anyone else. Of course, we understood that. But I don't think that's the point. The point is, make those the best clothes that you have. Why is this? My friends, this action is telling of a person who is very careful about what others think of him, and to make himself presentable to others so he can give that respect to others. When you start giving respect to Allah in private, then you will start giving respect to others also in public. This is where we need to come to in order to recognize how beautiful deen is. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. All right, now the third way to recognize beauty. The third way. So, what was the first way? I forgot. From yesterday. What was the first way? To close your eyes from dunya. Very good. Just a test. All right? So, that was the first way. To close your eyes from dunya's beauty. Then you will see this beauty. Second way is to be friendly, to be a lover, to have that personality. Strive for it, then you'll start seeing beauty. You will start seeing the attraction of deen and spirituality. The third way, again, is to be optimistic and have a positive demeanor. having a positive demeanor. Think optimistically about things. Have husn dhan. And first in Allah. Have husn dhan in Allah, that Allah does good. A lot of the times we have problem that we don't have husn dhan. We actually have a bad idea of Allah and Ahlul Bayt. Our idea about them is that they're some sort of wrongdoer. They'll do wrong with us. They have the power and they can do anything with us. They can, that's it. And you will see yourself, in that. I don't know nowadays, right? In the old days, I'm talking about old days. Email was old days, You used to receive emails. It used to say that if you don't forward this email to 5 other people, then Bibi Fatima will curse your house. Right? You're like, astaghfirullah, Bibi Fatima will curse me. Now let me put it forward. So really, the idea is that, who do you think Bibi Fatima is? What idea do you have about her? What, would she just destroy someone's house? Really? What kind of idea do you have about her? You see, these are things we need to see. This is garbage. Bibi Fatima, really, look at her. Look at Allah. Would Allah destroy homes? Would He do injustice to others? Would He do wrong things to others? He won't. So, really, rectify ourselves. This is going to help you. Having husn zan in Allah is going to help you a lot. And I will tell you how it's going to help you. It's a secret, but I'll tell you. Right? Only the top-notch, elite know about this. But, I feel generous today, and the people of Kansas, should know about this also. So I'll tell you, if you all can send salawat and move forward. Just come on in, pack up this hall. Very good. So now that you're settled down, let's send a loud salawats. My friends, husn zan. Husn zan means giving the benefit of doubt, thinking good about someone is very helpful. You know where? When you will stand on the day of judgment. What is the only thing really on the day of judgment? Is there anything you can do on the day of judgment that they can change your destiny? If they give you the book and say, hey, listen, that's it for you. Judgment is you're going to go to hell. Judgment has been passed. You have the book in your hand. You know it. You accept it. Yes, I'm bad. This and that. Is there anything that can save you at that point? Is there anything that can save you? All of that is over. The shafaat and all that is finished. Judgment has passed. The angel is now saying, all right, let's away. Let's go. You're on your way to hell. What does that mean? It's said in hadith that a person who is condemned to hell, that person will look back at the court. He will look back and he will be like, Allah, I never thought that you would do this to me. I always thought you were good. I always thought that you were like Rahman. And at that point, Allah will tell the angels, listen, his verdict has been changed. Take him the other way. My friends, husn zan in Allah. Shaitan is after you to destroy that husn zan in your mind and in your heart. He's after you. Have doubts in Allah. Allah will not let go. Allah is not going to forgive me. Allah is, there's no hope for me. I have done enough wrong, this and that. Shaitan's after that. That's him filling your ears up, brainwashing you to think that. La taqnatu min rahmatillah, Allah says in the Quran. Don't lose hope in Allah. In fact, He's the last hope that you do have. Keep that hope alive and know that Allah will do good. This is going to be huge for you when it counts. Huge for you when it counts. You all got that? Inshallah. Salawats. My friends, being positive, even in speech, being positive. Don't say no. There's no reason to say no. Be positive in your speech. This is very important. Rasulullah saw Imam Hassan, Imam Hussein, they were like looking pale. Pale means weak, like someone who's hungry. And he asked, children, did you eat? And they said, no, we haven't eaten. For 3 days we haven't eaten. 3 days you haven't eaten? So he brought them to Bibi Fatima. He says, daughter, what's wrong? These children are hungry. Don't you have food in your house? What do you think that Bibi Fatima will say? She's not going to lie that she has food. No, she doesn't have food. There's no food in the house. Really, Ahlul Bayt lived like that. There's no food in the house a lot of times for them to eat. You know? So he asked Bibi Fatima, don't you have food in the house? You know what she said? Father, the only thing we have right now in the house is you. Subhanallah. Look at that. He said, the only thing we have in the house is you, my father. You're the only thing we have in the house. She didn't say, no, we don't have food. See how she speaks. Don't be negative. Not being negative. She said, nah, Rasulullah, we have you. We have you in the house. This, my friend, is a positive message. How to speak positively in the house. Anywhere that you are. No need to say no. No. And then you know. Like for example, your brother says something and you won't agree with him. He says, no, brother, you're right. Why do you say no first? Why do you say no first? No, brother, you're right. What do you mean, no? Yeah, a lot of times we need to see ourselves. Are we positive or are we negative? This negativity really will hurt us. I'll say this, right? Subhanallah. In hadith we have that everyone, like for example, has a different weakness. Every gender and every age group has a different weakness. For example, the weakness of men is their pride. Because of their pride, they will lie, they will deceive, they will hide things. Why? Because of their pride. It's a false pride. It's not real. But this ghurur that they have, ghurur and this pride, yes, it is a weakness in that they have. Men have this weakness. Now in hadith it has come that women, for the women's side, if you all the ladies, if you all can move up, we have hijab all the way till here. So you all can move up and inshallah, come closer on this side because the back end is all blocked up. So let's send a salawat for the ladies so that they can move up with all their children and stuff. Right. Come on up, everyone. Ahsantum. Ahsantum. That's good. That's good. One more salawat for them. Since the next point is about them and they'll have to hear it, one more salawats. All right. In hadith it is said that one of the weakness of women is that they exaggerate negative thoughts. Psychologically, that is in them, that they exaggerate negative thoughts. For example, when they're angry at their husband, this and that, inshallah, you will never see any good in your life. It's a long stretch Hail Mary, boom. Man, how dare you say that, So in Hadith we have this, right? That they exaggerate things like nifreen and bad dua and boom. It comes from them and it's very hard and men are shocked by it, in the ear. Well, it's just only, I'm talking about lunch, nothing else, But it so happens, that they do that. Now, what happened is this, right? Now, this is a very sensitive issue. It is a sensitive issue. Because it's there in them as a natural thing that they do, the men are told not to react to it. Don't react. Don't get angry. How dare you say that about my mother, Relax. Just chill out, Fine. Let her say that. And she'll realize later on, she comes to you and says, I apologize, for opening up like that. She'll do that. Now, it's said that. But on the other hand, there's another problem with that. The problem that happens is that the children who grow up hearing these negative thoughts and ideas, they grow up with negativity in their life. They become pessimistic in their life. They lose the ability to be optimistic. And because of that, they're unable to see the beauty of their faith. They cannot see the beauty of their faith. Why? Because of these negative ideas that were thrown out in the family, and it just happens like that. So yes, on one hand, husbands are told, hey, listen, you don't need to react this and that. On the other hand, it needs to be curbed so that the children don't get spoiled by it. So it's a very delicate issue. How do you manage this? Yes, if you see a woman who doesn't have this habit, who does not do this, trust me, she's worth her weight in gold. She has been trained by her parents or by herself to be extraordinary. Because that's abnormal. That is something that above normal that she has worked on herself. So appreciate that. But other than that, if you see it, don't get upset. But there's a need to have an understanding to curb it so it doesn't have effect on the children. That's it, my friends. These are things I just wanted to make clear. Second way is being positive. The third way is being positive. Not having negativity in our heart. That's it. I just wanted to say these two things. We will continue, inshallah, tomorrow. The beauty that is there in Islam, in all facets of Islam. You see that. It's amazing, right? How we don't see these things. I was in Qom. In my days when I was studying, I studied in Qom, and I was standing outside the Haram of Bibi Masuma. I was outside the Haram, Bibi Masuma, and I saw some European tourists. They were outside, men, women, elderly, these tourists came about from Germany or somewhere. They were outside trying to look in and this and that, They had no clue what this is. So they were asking, what is this tomb? Whose tomb is this? So I was there standing there, and the guards didn't understand what they were saying. So I went up to them and said, can I help you all? And, you speak English, blah, blah. And they said, whose tomb is this? Whose shrine is this? I said, this is the shrine of the sister of our 8th Imam, Imam Rida, who's in Mashhad. This is his sister, Hazrat Masuma. Right? That's it. I just said that. They all together, the first reaction they had, looking at each other in wonderment, like, what? That she's a woman? You have shrines for women? Now, it's something that we never noticed, right? Hazrat Masuma, Bibi Zainab, We never noticed that. We take it for granted. But to them, it was like, wow, you actually have a shrine that belongs to a woman that everyone goes to and begs from Allah there? He says, yes, she is tawassul. She is a tawassul for us. She's a median. And we are proud of it. It's really how they look at things. I mean, we don't know this. We don't know the beauties that we have. One time in my debate with the Christians, they asked me to explain about Hajj because I just came back from Hajj that time. They said, okay, we want to hear you about your experience in Hajj, this and that. So I was explaining to them about Hajj and this and that. They as a religion would die to have something like this where they can all gather together. They would give anything to have that. They said, Allah gave it to you for free. Really, you're going there. Look at this. We don't see these things. But look at these beauties that we have. These things that are so beautiful. That make us so strong. We don't even know this. My friends, I told you yesterday we are going to be together. And that's it. I need to say things fast now. And that's it. I'm coming now to the end. This, alhamdulillah, we the Shia have this love amongst us. This itself is beautiful. It's beautiful. I told you yesterday. When Imam Mahdi Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif, when he will come back, when he will reappear, it is said in riwayat, in hadith, it has said that the Shias will come from all over the world to be with him. They will be carrying alam and flags and all these things to come to see our Imam. Just imagine how we go for Arba'in. 20 million, 30 million are there. More than that at his time. They will come there. And imagine Imam Zamana standing in between that huge gathering that as far as the eye can see are human beings. Everywhere you see, it's all Shias. Everywhere, right? Imagine how happy the Imam would be to see this gathering. He should be happy, right? I mean, he will be there. All these people are there. But you know what? Something is missing. He will look around to see. Something is missing. Something is lacking. And the Shias will tell him, Mawla, what is lacking? We are all here ready to cut our necks for you. This is the power. This is the strength. Imam Hussain didn't have it. Now you have it. So he should have that thing, right? And now, alhamdulillah, everything is there. But there would be something that's missing. That's not there. He still looks around. And everyone will plead, what is missing? Who is missing? You know what Imam Mahdi will say? He will say, Abul Fazl Abbas is missing. And when he will say that, all of us are going to bow our head down and realize that all of us together are not equal to one Abbas. All of us are not equal. We realize that. We say, yes, we don't have Abbas. My friends, Imam Hussain, when he had Abbas, he was like so much for Imam Hussain. When Imam Hussain said of Abbas, when he was losing Abbas, Alan in Qatara Zahri, my back is going to be broken now, my back is broken now. It's not because, it's a statement he's making. Imamat is making this statement that without Abbas, its back is broken. And Abbas is something else. That's why Imam Sajjad wanted his uncle to be buried in a different place so that people know that they need to go to Abbas before they come to Hussain. When you don't know who Abbas is, Abbas was an alim. Abbas was an alim. He knew Islam. When Imam Ali spoke about his son Abbas, he didn't say he was a strong man. He didn't say he was courageous or brave or this and that. You know what Imam Ali said to describe Abbas? He said that he has ilm that no one else has. He has knowledge. He's an alim. He was an alim. Everyone knew that. When Abbas used to speak, they listened. He knew what he's saying. That's right. But you know what? At that level, Abbas used to say that, I loved Hussein so much. I loved Hussein so much, I wanted to kiss him every time I saw him. My heart went out for him. I wanted to kiss him, but I wouldn't dare do that. I had so much respect for him. So you know what I used to do to show my love for Hussein? I would go to his little children and take their feet and kiss their feet. I would kiss their feet to show my love for Hussein. That's it. I will. My friends, today is Abbas's day. A time came in Karbala when everyone was gone, except for Hussein and Abbas. Abbas came to Imam Hussein and said, Mawla, what do you say? Imam Hussein said, about what, Abbas? He said, it's time for me to go. He says, Hussein said, Abbas, if you go, who's going to take care of the army? You're in charge. You're the flag bearer. You're my hand. Abbas said, looked around. Muharram Majlis said he looked around right and left. He says, Mawla, which army are you speaking of? There is no army left anymore. It's just you and me. And I cannot let you go, so I have to go. So when Imam Hussein heard that, he said, so be it, Abbas, go. But before you go, if you can just take care of my children. Take care of my children. Look at them. You hear their cries? Alatash, Alatash. They're just crying. Just take care of them. Abbas, in order to do that, just wanted to see the children of Hussein one more time. It said he came to the tent and he peeked inside. And what he saw was his children, they exposed their bellies and they were rubbing their bellies to the ground so they can get some moisture from the ground. And when they saw Abbas come in, their eyes popped out of their sockets as if Abbas brought some water. Abbas said, I will bring water, and he left. I'm making it short so we can get to the Shahadat. Abbas went away. He went to the river. He reached the river. No one wanted to fight Abbas. He reached the river. He saw the river. The water was tempting him. And he told the river that don't tempt me. He looked at it with disgust. And he says, don't tempt me. I made you haram on myself. I made you haram on myself. I will not touch you until the children of Hussein touch you. He took the water in the water skin and he put it around him and he walked. And he then ran and rode his horse back. As he was going back, yes, from one angle, someone came and struck him and cut off his left hand. Someone came and cut off his right hand. Both the hands were cut. I'm going through this fast. You already know the history. Just two things I want to mention to you so I can bring tears in your eyes. When Abbas stood there and he wanted to go back with the water skin in his mouth, he put that there. Then an arrow came and hit the water skin and the water started pouring out. When Abbas saw the water pouring out, he just stood there. He didn't move after that. He just stood there and saw the water going from here and there. And then when they saw Abbas standing alone, then the archers came forward, started shooting arrows at Abbas. From different angles the arrows came. One angle came and stuck and got embedded in the eye of Abbas. Abbas is now on the horse with the arrow in his eyes. And you know, this musibah that I mentioned, there's a history of that also. There's a history of one alim reading it about 100 years ago. He read it from the mimbar, and one of the Maraja in Iraq, he heard that and he said, you know, this what you read is not authentic. It's not in our history books. It's not authentic. Why are you reading this? And so, you know, whatever happened, that marja writes that he saw in his dream. At that night, Abbas came to his dream. Abbas came to his dream and said, you did injustice with me. You did injustice with me. He says, why? But Mawla, I never read this anywhere. He said, let me tell you the truth. Let me tell you the truth. And Abbas said, indeed, there was an arrow in my eyes. Indeed, there was an arrow in my eyes. And you know what happened? My worry was to take the arrow from the eyes. So I started to try to remove it. And as I was trying to remove it, I realized I don't have hands. I don't have hands. So I started shaking my hand. It was at this moment that a merchant with a mace, a heavy hammer came and slammed Abbas in the head, and he fell on the ground. When Abbas fell on the ground, he called out to Hussein. Hussein came to Abbas. He came to Abbas. My friends, this is it. Last thing I'll mention. When he came to Abbas, you know, there was a wasiyat, a will that Abbas made to Hussein. And that wasiyat was, Hussein, do not take me back to the tents. Please do not take my body back to the tents. Please do not do that. Hussein accepted that. Hussein accepted that. That's it, my friends. That's all I have to say. You know, when you go for ziyarat of Hazrat Abbas, try not to go to the basement. Try not to go to the sardab where the grave is. Really, our ulama have said, please don't go there. Do not go there. Don't go there. You know, a lot of people used to go there, bribe the people, this and that. This was insulting to Hazrat Abbas. It's insulting to Ahlul Bayt. It's insulting to Bibi Fatima. You know why? Because, you know, there was a time when that grave was flooded, and they had made a plan to make that grave right again. So when they were making the grave right again, the workers were all men. The alim was in charge. He was making sure everything is done correctly, everything is done right. One of the workers who was working there had a question. He came to the alim and said, Maulana, I have a question from you. He said, what is that question? You know, is it not true that Abbas was Kamar Bani Hashim? He said, yes, it is true he was Kamar Bani. Is it not true that he was so tall that when he sat on the horse, his feet would reach the ground? He said, yes, that's true also. Mawla, just tell me, why is it that the grave of Abbas is so small? It's like a child's grave. When the alim heard that, he sat on the ground and started slapping his head. You have asked me a question that has been killing me all my life. He said, what is that? When Hussein left Abbas, and Abbas requested him, don't take me back to the camp. Imam Hussein agreed with that. He left. When Hussein left, he knew what was going to happen. Not once did Imam Hussein look back to see, because those scumbags, those cowards who were afraid to face Abbas when he was alive, when they saw him dead, they pounced on him like vultures, and they took their swords and started cutting Abbas to small pieces.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.